Right. Hey guys, welcome back to Crypto. It is January 11th, 2024. Just about like a 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? So in today's content, we'll talk about BTC and altcoins on a macro basis and all that good stuff, and what type of price action we could be expecting in the post approval BTC ETF post approval and all that good stuff. Alt already stole the show. Ether, we talked about Ether a couple of weeks ago before the breakout, when Ether was around like a 2000 and some changes, right? And now it is above 2500 and all that good stuff. Okay, so make sure to hit the likes, make sure to join the public Telegram group, link in the description. You can also join Send Premium. We got a 50% discount for the bull run and all that good stuff. Okay, so let me go ahead and take a look at BTC on the lower degree before we talk about BTC on the macro basis, and the bull run we could be expecting over the next like a few months, right? So we talking about on the macro, not BTC dropping like 5%, 10% and all that good stuff, right? But still, we'll talk about the lower degree. Okay, so when we take a look at BTC on a weekly basis, okay, so I know most bears been calling for 10k, 20k, 5k, 1k and all that good stuff, but on the weekly basis, BTC, it is still looking pretty strong. We above the weekly 21, we above the weekly 50, of course, and above the weekly 100 EMA. If we take a look at it on the 3D, we're still above the 3D 21, 3D 50 and 3D 100 EMA. Okay, in terms of indicators, right, as we discussed previously, right, just because your 3D MACD is negative, it doesn't mean like price action will dump right away, okay, or price action will give you some sort of like a pullback right away. Okay, so the reason for that is like, even though the MACD was negative, right, we were still above the 3D 21 EMA. So I didn't see a reason to be a macro bearish, or even like a short to medium term bearish, looking for like a 30k, 20k and all that good stuff. I know most bears been looking for those prices before the ETF approval, right? Most people have been saying like, okay, after the ETF approval, BTC will dump 30%. Instead, right, BTC pump 8 to 10% depending on how you want to look at it and all that good stuff. Okay, so overall, the trend, it is still bullish, right? As long as we can maintain a solid uptrend above the 3D 21 EMA, we could say, okay, in the short to medium term, over the next like a few weeks, BTC trend, it is still going to be up. Okay, the only caveat is like, hey, you could say, hey, San, if we take a look at it on the monthly basis, right, let's take a look at it right here before we go on the quarterly. Let's take a look at it on the monthly basis. So if we take a look at it on the monthly basis, all right, now if we take a look at it on a monthly basis, we just don't want, right, price action to close below the monthly open, right? If we do close below the monthly open, we will most likely going to get some negative momentum, right? And bears will be coming out and be calling for all kind of crazy prices. Okay, so you take a look at the monthly. We opened the monthly around like a 42.2, right? And we just hit nearly 0.786. So if you've been following our channel, we talk about all these prices, guys, long time ago. We talked about the 0.618, the 0.786 and 0.888. Okay, the next level of resistance, once we take out the 50k area, going to be the 57, 58k area, which is going to be the 0.618, right? 0.888 above 0.786, excuse me, right? However, the problem is like, within the next like a few days or even a couple of weeks before end of the month, right, bulls, they just have to maintain a solid ground above 45.5. That's all they have to do, nothing else. Okay, even if price action retest, let's say the weekly 21 EMA, which is somewhere around actually let's say the 3D 21, not even the weekly, but the 3D 21 EMA, which is right now at 41.1, right? You think about it, right? 41.1, it is below the monthly open. So if we drop down to the monthly open, right, and close below the monthly open, we will be closing with a shooting star, right? I just explained it in my premium group, right? So it's not going to be looking good in the short to medium term. However, we still have to wait till the monthly closes. Okay, we still have to wait till the monthly closes, because we cannot just say like, okay, we close, we're going to close below the monthly. I don't think we will, right? But if we do, right, we will see what type of a warning we will get and all that good stuff. Okay, but it's not going to look good. Okay, something to keep in mind. I'm still expecting over the next like a 15 to 16 month, we will get few bearish monthly cycles. However, we don't want to close any of those with a shooting star. Okay, we don't want to close any of those with a shooting star. Okay, what is shooting star? A shooting star is like something like that, close to that, right? It looks better on the weekly back in June 2019, right there. So it looks like that. So if most of you guys, let's say you've been trading BTC long enough, you remember exactly what happened back in June 2019. Okay, the monthly and the weekly was closing at the same time back then. I remember we were going live, right? And if you guys recall, what we said was like, if we close below the open, right, it's not gonna look good. It means like, the trend is over. That's exactly what we were saying, and we were going live, okay, when the monthly and the weekly was closing. Okay, so something to keep in mind. It doesn't mean in the short term, okay, we will be dumping hard and all that good stuff. It could be a healthy correction, but just be prepared, right? If we basically close the monthly below 42. Okay, the probability is not high, but just be ready for anything. Okay, so that's the only thing I could see in the short to medium term, right? Based on the monthly structure, that's the only bearishness I could basically see. Other than that, the macro trend, if we go ahead and take a look at it on a quarterly basis, right? If we flip to the quarterly time frame, you can see there is no reason, right, for bears, right, to not give up. Okay, we got a 72% breakout in Q1 2023, right? They've been complacent the whole 2023 and ignore the the Q4 2023 breakout, and now we're getting another breakout. They're gonna be like, okay, we missed this breakout, 72% breakout, we missed another 56% breakout, right? And the ETF just got approved. We above the 45k. If we close the monthly above 45k, I mean January 2024, right? If we close January 2024 above 46k area, we don't want to be sitting right here, right, calling for 10k, 3k, 5k, and all that good stuff, right? So the likelihood of BTC going higher after closing above 45k before, at the end of the month, right, going to be super high. Something to basically keep in mind, right, before before the halving and all that good stuff. Okay, so on a quarterly, it looks good, as I described previously. Even if you go back on a monthly basis, right, most of the time BTC tends to be above the monthly 21 EMA by the time of the halving. So I just don't see why we will be below the monthly 21 EMA, by April 2024. Okay, so everything looks good on the quarterly, and yearly time frame and all that good stuff. Okay, so on the yearly, speaking of the yearly, as you can see, the yearly, we're expecting another macro resistance somewhere around like 180k, right? So if we take out the resistance right here, just about like a 52. Okay, so 52 to a 55k, if if we take out that level of resistance, we could be looking for another move all the way up to 180k or even higher. Okay, but I really don't want to be sitting right here saying like we're going to go up to 500k, $1 million. I think like if you bought BTC anywhere around like a 16k, 17k, 18k area and still been accumulating over the last few months, you should be okay. It should be good, okay, anywhere around like a 180, right? Or even 150. Not try to FOMO above 180k to 100k and all that good stuff, okay? Because we said it multiple times. Our big target, based on the diminishing return, we're not expecting, okay, 25x, 30x on BTC from the bottom. We're just expecting 9 to 11x, right? That's why we were saying accumulate right here, 19k to 16k, and then you're going to be selling at 180k on average, right? Hopefully it makes sense, right? So let's go back to the weekly basis. So we got hash rate starting 84, starting 87, ending with 84 in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We got Kendras, Mason, thanks a lot for tuning in, man. It's been a while. Aldo Moonboy, thanks a lot for tuning in, man. We got 47 Zebra, thanks a lot for tuning in. Mr. Shoe 589, the sound is good. Mr. Zebra is basically FOMOing. He's saying like we need a correction. Correction will come, okay, but you just have to wait. I mean, you just have to be patient and let them come, instead of basically being bearish and trying to short the market. Okay, if you spot selling, I mean, I recommend take some profit in the short to medium term, right? If BTC goes up, let's say, up to 58, altcoin will pump a lot, and you can take your profits that you take. You can take your profits, right, from your BTC trades, right, and basically put it into some alt, and they're going to pump like a massively, right? So it all depends how you want to do it, but I just don't recommend, right, shorting the market and expecting a 30% correction, 50% correction, and all that good stuff. If we get those corrections, great. We will get some of those corrections, right, within the next over the next let's say 16 to 17 months. We will get 25 up to 35% correction. For alt, that's pretty normal. In any given week, right, we could correct 15, right, up to 40%. Some of these alt will, correct like 50% in 1 week, right? But you can't just jump in and, say like, hey, we're in a bear market. So crypto is kind of crazy. I know 50% is a lot, even 15% is a lot, right? But that's how it works, right? You just have to accept it. If you can basically digest the volatility, you might not want to be in crypto, okay? So you just have to expect those 25 to 50% correction in some of these alt, right? And let's say 20 to 30% correction on BTC, but you just don't know when you're gonna get it. Okay, you just don't know when you're gonna get it, right? For instance, right here, you can see like we corrected 32% right there, 30% in early 2021. And what happened after that? Alt pump 100x. So those correction, whenever BTC drops anywhere between like, let's say 6% and to 12% or even like a 15%, you got to be accumulating alt, because all that liquidity could be flowing into alt. All right, so as you can see last week, okay, I think this week, right, or last week, we dropped like 6% on BTC. Let's take a look at it on the daily. We dropped actually 10% on the daily, right? And what happened? Now you can see like Ether pump 20%, right? So whenever BTC drops, let's say 6% or higher, you just got to be accumulating alt, okay? Because all that liquidity could be flowing into altcoins. So based on the poll, 57% says like a BTC will not break all-time high before May. We will see. I don't think it will, right? But we got a pretty good chance, okay? But based on the 4-year cycle, we could be breaking it in by by October, unless we get a premature bull run. I mean, we're already in a bull run, but premature pump up to an all-time high. Hey, what's up, Tyro? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Yeah, most of the Doom boys are back right now. Mason is back. It's bull run time. So now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC. So we just discussed the 3D time frame, right? I know it is slightly negative right now. After the ETF, we just pumped slightly. After the candle close, we pumped like, let's say 7%. Right, not bad. Let's take a look at this candle right here. Yeah, it pumped just about like 5%, not bad. Getting a slight rejection above resistance. So still above the daily 21, the daily 50 around like a 42. So it is going to be critical, because 42, it is at the same time the monthly open, right? If we're gonna retest the level right here, we want to do it as soon as possible. That way we get like 3 more weeks, right, before the monthly close, right? So if we get a big dump, let's say today, tomorrow, I'm not saying we will, but if we do, right, just understand what's going on before end of the month, right? Because bulls could be coming back to basically force the price to close back bullish before the monthly, okay, before the monthly close. So keep that in mind, right? $58K by the having, say, Tyro. So now let's move on to Ethereum really quickly. So Ether, we talked about Ether, okay? Like a couple of weeks ago, we said, hey, Ethereum is likely to flip bullish, okay? Solana just hit a big resistance against Ether. So most of the Solana bulls, they're going to be selling their Solanas, right, and putting them into Ether, right? I'm going to show you the Solana chart. Solana Ether chart, right? So as you can see right here, I said it as soon as we hit that level, I think a couple of weeks ago, right here on the very, let's to be exact, right? I sent it, I think like December 25th. What I said, Solana picked against Ether. Okay, it's time to basically sell your Solana into Ether. And as you can see, if you didn't, right, you dropped 30% against it. Okay, you already dropped 30% in less than 2 weeks against it. And it already pumped 30%. Solana, already dropped like 25-30% itself, from like 125 to like, $100, something like that, 95, right? So, however, it doesn't mean like Solana will be continuously bearish against Ether, but I was just giving you guys a warning, like the liquidity most likely going to be flipping into Ether. And we talk about it, guys, on the same day Solana basically picked against Ether, right? So keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind, right? Let's go back to Ether. So Ether, let's take a look at Ether on a macro basis first. In terms of wave analysis, right? So in terms of wave analysis, Ether is looking super bullish, okay? Just like BTC respected the quarterly 21 EMA support right there. And most bears been saying like, hey, Ether going to drop down to like $200, right? So they weren't paying attention to the quarterly 21 EMA, right? So retested the quarterly 21 EMA, moved sideways, moved sideways around like let's say a year, right? Almost a year. And now we're breaking out above the resistance, right? So the next key level of resistance for Ether going to be, 2850, 3150. If we break out above this level of 3150, right, we could be saying, hey, zero resistance, right, all the way up to potentially, 15K, 12 to 15K. So Ether has a very direct chart. You don't need too much analysis with the Ether macro directional. The only thing you need is like to be patient. Okay, even though we're going to get some 15 to 30% shakeouts along the way, just like in 2020 and 2021. If you recall right here, before Ether broke all-time high, let's take a look at it on the 3D. You can see back in January, I think February, right here, we dumped like 36%, right? And in January, Ether dumped right here, it dumped like 30%, right? So we're going to get some of these, big dumps, right, over the next like a few months. But it doesn't mean like Ether will be macro bearish. Okay, so the best thing to do for Ether is like to follow the weekly 21 for Ether within the next like a few months. Whenever we dump down to the weekly 21, you just stay bullish. As of now, the weekly 21 is around like a 2200 range. It doesn't look like, okay, it will drop right back down to the weekly 21 unless BTC gets a big shakeout. Okay, if BTC gets a big shakeout, yes, Ether could be coming back down to the weekly 21. But as long as BTC is maintaining a solid, bullish momentum above the 3D 21, weekly 21, and all that good stuff, the likelihood of Ether dropping 30 to 35% is very low. So the next level of resistance, once again, 2850 to 3150, right? The price resistance is actually 3500, but the the resistance starts right here. Okay. So all right, thanks a lot, 46 Zebra. So most of these targets, guys, are long-term targets. Okay, it could take a month at least, okay, to get hit. Right. If we do not hit 3150 in January, okay, we could hit it after the halving, right? If we get some sort of rejection, once again, we still got the weekly 21. We still got the 2000 area as a massive support right now, right? So if you followed our analysis back in 2021, when we were calling for Ether tapping out right here around like a 4200 range, right? Remember, we were calling for all these moves to the downside, right? And we basically shorted all the way down to 2000 or even all the way down to $1,000. But if you take a look at it in terms of supports and resistance, right? This entire area was a massive support, right? Since like when? February 2021, almost 3 years, and we just got back above it. So what is the likelihood of Ether continuing its uptrend? Right, the probability is very high. It's very high. However, it doesn't mean like it's gonna basically just shoot up to 10,000, 17,000 within the next like a couple of weeks. It could take anywhere between 15 to 18 months, right? So if we get any shakeouts, just keep an eye on the 2000. And at the same time, we got the long-term trend line right here for a secondary support, depending on how slow price action will move. For whatever reason, if we move sideways, just keep an eye on the trend line, right? If we shoot down, look for the weekly 21. If we break the weekly 21, you got your secondary support. If we break out to the upside, you got your, resistance all the way up to 4K to be taking some profits and basically waiting for the pullback and all that good stuff. All right. All right. So now let's take a look at Ether BTC. So Ether BTC, it hit support right here, our June 2022 support, right? That's where we bottom at, and basically pump back up near all-time high and all that good stuff. Now we just hit it again. So in terms of like a bull run, right, it hasn't even started yet because we're still below the weekly 21 EMA against BTC. So I wouldn't be surprised, okay, if Ether continues to be suffering against BTC, right, until after the halving. So don't be surprised. It doesn't mean like Ether USD won't be going up, but as of now, it doesn't worth the risk, right, selling your Ether into BTC. As we already hit the support. Could we go lower? Yes, but it could be temporary, right? It could drop down to these lows, right? In 1 week, 2 weeks, you're selling your Ethers, right? Let's say you sold your Ether after it drops below like a 0.055, right? The very next week, it could pump right back up, just like what it just did right here. So I don't think it's worth the risk right now, based on the timing. If it was like, let's say in 2021, 2022, yes, you want to be selling at the weekly 21 and wait for the next 12 months. But as of now, if you wait for the next 12 months, Ether could be going back up to all-time high, right? Potentially against BTC. Or if not, it could just hit this level of 0.09 and all that good stuff, right? So, but it got a pretty good chance, right? If we don't break below, let's say 4.5%, right? If we don't break below it, right, it got a pretty good chance, right, to retest, let's say 0.1 BTC, right? Or even go back to all-time high against BTC, right there, 0.11, right? So now let's take a look at a few alts I've been updating over the last since like October, okay, since like mid-October. I've been talking about these alt in my premium group, right? So most of these alt, are top 100 coins, right? So I'm just gonna give you guys a quick overview of some of these alt, okay? So I'm still bullish on Shiba, right? So if you guys recall, if you've been following our channel long enough, right, or you are in our premium, you remember Shiba, okay? Back in 2021, we were bullish on Shiba right here around like a 800, right? And we got a massive pump, a 10x move right there. So we nailed Shiba just like the way we nailed Altcoin, a 10x move from $20 to a $200, okay? Shiba from $800 Shiba, 800 all the way up to a 8,000 or higher, right? So now we're back to the accumulation zone above the weekly 21, broke out above the let's say 17-month trend line resistance, retesting it. Just have to be patient right now for Shiba to retest the level of 1600 right there, okay? So 0.01 if you're using like a, let's say, Shiba 1000, not leverage, but I'm just using the Shiba 1000 as you get less numbers, right, Leroy? So next level of resistance for Shiba around like a 0.06, 0.016 up to 0.017 right here. So looking good, okay? Just like Ethereum Classic, right? We talked about Ethereum Classic a couple of weeks ago, or last month, I think, right? When Ether was consolidating around like the $20 area, we said we're going to be pumping up to 36 to 42, right? And Ether Classic, Shiba and Dogecoin, they all got a similar accumulation pattern, okay? So now let's move on to ADA. So ADA, we already discussed ADA, right? Back in September, October, we said, okay, guys, don't expect ADA, to repeat, right, what it did back in 2020, right here. So most people were expecting ADA to give us this move. If you watch our live analysis, what I said was like, don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. Because 2023 is completely different, right? To 2020. So, and what were we expecting? A move all the way up to a 60 cents to 70 cents. That's where we're getting our consolidation as of now. Right. So if we get any shakeouts, right, for ADA, right, you still got the weekly 21 or even down to like a 40 cents, right, for reaccumulation right there. If we break out, we got the next level of resistance around like a 120. And what is 120? The previous all-time high, not 2021, but the year 2017, 120 to 130 area. Right? So if you want to take a look at it in terms of fibs, right, that's going to be 0.618. So 0.618, right, for ADA around 120, which is another 100% move from here. Right, you take a look at your MACD, looking pretty healthy. It's not negative yet. If the MACD flips negative and we break below the weekly 21 EMA, of course the weekly MACD flips negative, then we could be talking about like another reaccumulation phase. But as of now, just have to stick with the macro uptrend and all that good stuff. So now let's move on to Arbitrum. So Arbitrum, I'm starting to like Arbitrum, right? Right here, as soon as we broke out above the, above the all-time high based on the weekly basis, even though it got a massive rejection, as soon as it dropped back down to the 160 and all that good stuff, what I said in my premium is like, hey, when you take a look at Arbitrum, it is starting a new macro uptrend. I was liking it right here, but I just wanted to make sure, it starts the macro directional move, right? And if you do a 1-to-1 extension of your cup and handle Leroy, right? You could call it, it's not a handle, but it's just a round bottom, okay? You could be looking for like a $4, right? Just for a 1-to-1 extension. Another 60% move could take you somewhere around like a, $6, which is going to give you your 1.618 extension right here. Somewhere around there, 1.618 extension. Right there. Actually $7. Okay, 1.618 extension. So 1.5, 6.5, right? $6.50, right? And 1.618 extension, $7. If we continue the uptrend over the next like a few months, right? Expect to get some, some massive corrections back down to the weekly 21. Let's say we go up to like a $4. Expect some corrections, okay? Back down to the at least daily 21, right? The worst case scenario could be the weekly 21 EMA. But everything looks really, really good. So the next one is Arweave, okay? Arweave, I started talking about it like around here back in October in my premium group, right? Around like $4, $5, right? The reason why I liked Arweave is like the circulating supply, right? And the total supply is nearly 1-to-1, okay? It's 99%. All the total supply is 99% in circulation, okay? So looks pretty good above the weekly 21. So we pumped nearly over 100% since I started to talk about it, right? And next resistance, our main resistance is like $13 to $15. We're not there yet, but it is still looking pretty good. Once we take out the level of resistance right here, you could even be looking for a 1-to-1. If you don't want to use your Fibonacci's, we could be looking for a 1-to-1 extension, right? Of this move right there. That's going to take us somewhere around like $40 to $50, $56. And if you want to use your Fibonacci, right, that's going to be somewhere around like a, let's say 0.786. Right. The caveat is like, hey, you could get a potential cup and handle right here. If we go up to $15, it could drop back down and retest like $6, create another cup right here before pushing to the upside. So you just have to be mindful of a potential rejection around $13 to $15, right? Right. So if you want to take a look at it on the monthly, it looks super healthy. Still not above the monthly 211 EMA. And most of these alt, they're attacking the monthly 211 EMA, right? Most of the alt right now, they're at or above the monthly 211 EMA. So if you're basically watching any alt, just check it out closely. Is it above or below the monthly 211 EMA? Most of these alt below the monthly 211 EMA, most likely to be breaking out above the monthly 211 EMA, you know, before the halving potential, if not after the halving. Right. So if you're short-term trading, keep an eye on those alt below the monthly 211 EMA, you know, for a swing trade. So the next one is this bad boy, Atom. Atom looks really good, okay? I know it is in a potential wedge pattern. However, the timing doesn't like the, you know, the wedge pattern. Because if you draw it like that, you're expecting another low right here. However, if you just say, okay, it is a descending triangle, right? And we could get a macro double top, double bottom right here, consolidate right here, and a blast off towards all-time high. And that's the way I'm looking at it. If we break above the monthly 21, retest somewhere around like a $17 to $20, get a shakeout back down to the weekly 21 or even down to the monthly 21. That's going to be a second opportunity for most bulls to be re-entering before breaking all-time high. Okay, but for whatever reason, right, if we get a big shakeout before the breakout above all-time high, we still got the 18-month support right here since like June 2022, somewhere around like $6 to $7. In October, I said it in my premium, Atom, $6, start accumulating it. If you haven't been accumulating Atom, right? Because we said it, guys, if you've been following our channel, we said clearly Q4 2023 will be our last chance for all of us, you and I, and Leroy, and all the bears to basically accumulate alt, regardless. Okay, whether you like, you know, Shiba, Atom, ADA, whatever. Okay, just accumulate your favorite altcoins, right? And be patient for the following 18 months. Because remember, we waited for 2 years to be bullish on alt. We waited for 2 years after the bull market. I mean, the first pick was in May 2021. The second pick in November 2021, right? So we started being bearish on alt in November after we started being bearish on Ether and BTC, okay? I wasn't bearish on all alt, right? Yes, but for the most part, I was bearish on most alt, right? So we'll take a look at Uni. Alright, thanks a lot, Zebra. Oh, Mr. Shu. So now let's take a look at AVAX. So AVAX, you know, pretty healthy. Okay, 4 straight bullish monthly candle. Nothing to say. You just have to be patient with it. Okay, on a monthly basis. If you get a shakeout, you got your monthly 21 EMA. The worst case scenario, right, could be just to retest the $15 area. And as of now, the volume is too low, so bears might not be too confident enough to be, you know, dumping the price down to the $15 area. So it looks pretty good. So I expect some more consolidation with AVAX. You know, you could get a flat right here, so it could pump to $50 and still retest like, let's say, $30 area, right? So where you're going to get your flat and then another blast off, kind of like Link. Okay, Link printed a we'll take a look at Link, but Link printed a double top, double bottom on the daily, but ended up printing it, I think, on the weekly. So it's kind of basically a little bit confusing, but I will show you, right? So expect more consolidation if we don't break $50, okay, for AVAX. And Kusama is printing a similar pattern also, okay? From I was bullish on it since like $45, right, for a short-term swing back to $60, but we'll take a look at it if possible. So AXS, it likes to follow AVAX and Solana, okay? So that's why I was bullish on AXS right here around like a $4, and target was around like $11 to $12 in our premium back in October. So we were ready back in October. We started talking about all these alt, right? I know I didn't talk about it in our public live stream and all that good stuff, but I'm just trying to show you guys what type of moves we look for in our premium, not, you know, not on the 15-second chart for the most part, right? So only Leroy is like the 15-second charts. So you can see like it pumped nearly over 130%. Now back down to the weekly 211 EMA. Okay, so if we get an extra, you know, few weeks of consolidation, it could still print a double top, double bottom right here, right, till the halving, and then it could blast off. If not, you know, let's say we break below the weekly 21 EMA, we could be looking for a potential move down to a 0.618, which is somewhere around like a $6 area, which is not that bad, okay? Because some of these alt, as I just said, okay, they can drop 40 to 50%, you know, in the bull, while being in a bull market. So just because they drop 40% doesn't mean like they're going to zero. It is just giving us some, you know, some more chances to basically reaccumulate. All right, so it's still looking good. Next level of resistance, let's take a look at it on the monthly. So as you can see on the monthly, it is still below the monthly 21, right? Let's use the opposite fib to the upside. 0.618, right around like a $40. Okay, on log scale. And 50% pullback, right around like a 25. As of now, we just about like under $9. Okay, and at the same time, under the monthly 21 EMA at, you know, at $13. So BAT, I also talk about BAT. When I was talking about BAT back in October, I said BAT is one of the slowest coin, right, in the market, but once it starts pumping, right, that is it. It's gonna just get the job done, right? So now, as you can see, it is, you know, it just hit the monthly 21 EMA, right, this month. We started talking about it right here, 19 cents, 20 cents. It pumped to like a 28, got rejected, came back down to like 20 cents again, right? And now it is back above 25 cents. So the next level of resistance, I think it is, you know, it is going to break above 30 cents. All right, I'm pretty sure about that. I just don't know when, but it will. Okay, the next level of resistance is going to be around like the 44 cents to a 50 cents. Right, if bulls manage to take out 40 cents, 50 cents area, you know, that is it. Okay, we could be saying, okay, any dips after that, right, down to the monthly 21, weekly 21, going to be, you know, just some short-term pullbacks, and we could be looking for another move up to all-time high potential. So we already talked about this bad boy, right, BTC. So the next one is Dogecoin. So I'm extremely bullish on Dogecoin, okay? I'm very, very bullish on Dogecoin. So Doge, you know, I know it is not moving as of now, but one thing you got to remember is like back in October 2022, right, when most of these alts were dumping, Dogecoin pumped over 100%. Right, so when most of these alts are pumping, right, it is a time to accumulate more Doge, like take some profits off of these coins, right, let's say Solana. I'm not giving you any financial advice, right? Solana, Ethereum, BTC, whatever, okay? Some of them, you know, all those coins are up, right? And Doge is still, let's say, 50% below its 18-month, above its 18-month low right here. So it is still under accumulation. Accumulate more Doge, right? Because the breakout could be fierce, right? Just like what happened right here. It could break out over 100% out of nowhere. In one day, it could do it, right? Out of any given week, right? It could just blast off, right? And break above the 15 cents area. Right, so it is consolidating around the monthly 21. So we'll see if Doge will break out above the monthly 21, right? So if we get any shakeouts over the next like a couple of weeks, you know, we still got the 5 cents, 6 cents, 7 cents as a support, because we haven't broken out below the 18-month low, which is our June 2020 week down here around like a 5 cents. So big move coming up for Dogecoin. So the next one, DOT, okay? DOT, we started talking about DOT around $4 right here. Right here at the very bottom, okay? I think like October 22nd, right? The very first bullish candle on the weekly, that's when we started talking about Doge. I mean DOT, not Doge, okay? So from $4, our first target was right here, just about like a $5 to a $6 area, right? 50% move. And the second target was around $8.5 to $9. So it did pretty well over the last 3 months and still above the weekly 21. And if you take a look at your Wmacd, still positive. You take a look at our RSI, still looking pretty good. Okay, so with this guy, right, we just have to be patient until we take out the monthly 21 EMA clearly, because we're struggling as of now to close above the monthly 21. Okay, so support, you know, just around the monthly, just around the weekly 21, as we struggling to break out above the monthly 21 EMA. Okay, support around the weekly 21 EMA, excuse me, right? Let's take a look at the 3D. We actually got a recent support after the shakeouts from 9.5. We got a 32% shakeout down to the 3D 21. Okay. And on the daily, before that breakout, we did have a nice breakout right here, which was a short-term trade setup in our premium right there, double top, double bottom. We were expecting the continuation right here, 50% move, right? So DOT, it is still looking pretty good. So ANS, I didn't get a chance to talk about it. I saw the double top, double bottom right here on the 3D and 2D time frame, just like a BAT. But we had the shakeout right here, so I didn't get the chance to talk about it. And within the same candle on the 3D, it just broke out. So I was like, So I was looking for the $16 to $19, but it just took off, right? So, but I will come back to ENS later on, okay? But this one I completely missed it, not in terms of setups, but in terms of like a timing, because right after I started to be bullish on it, we got the big shakeout right here. I think it was on the on January 1st or January 2nd, right? Let's see. I think on January 3rd, right? That's when we got the shakeout. So, but it was a nice pattern right here. Okay, it was a nice pattern. I was just waiting for a clean close above like $11, but it dumped down to like $8 and pushed right back up to like my targeted area, $16. But we're gonna get more setups like that. Excuse me, guys. Let me take a look at the chat room before we go ahead and take a look at some of these other alt. is it late to buy Arweave? I mean, I don't think it's late to accumulate Arweave. Just accumulate it at your own risk, okay? Because if you're, excuse me guys, if your target is like, you know, your time target is like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? That's going to be pretty complicated to give you a target. But if you're looking for the next like 18 months, I think Arweave is likely to outperform Filecoin, right? The reason for that is, like, as I said, Arweave, let's go ahead and take a look at Arweave, because I already made a video analysis in my premium regarding Arweave back in October. As soon as I flipped bullish on it, that's when I made the video, okay? You take a look at Filecoin, even though it is number 31, you take a look at the, you know, the inflation rate for Filecoin is very high. It's very high, okay? The price is like, you know, is over like 90%, 95% or 98% down from all-time high. But if you take a look at the market cap, you know, it's not 95% down from all-time high. It has a very high inflation, right? So so basically something to basically keep in mind. The inflation rate for Filecoin is like 5% a month, based on, you know, based on my previous research on Filecoin, right? It increases, its supply increases 5% a month. That's a lot. And if you take a look at Arweave, you know, 99.1%, right, of the maximum supply is in circulation, or total supply. So you're not going to get anyone dumping, you know, new coins, you know, into the market. So that's basically my thesis. I could be wrong, right? But I think Arweave is likely to hit $200, right? More likely to hit $200 than Filecoin. If Filecoin gets to, like, let's say even like $80, that's super good. Okay, that's great. But I think anywhere between 50 to 60 is good enough, because it bottomed around like $3, right? With a high inflation, I don't think it will go 100x. And let's take a look at it right here really quickly. So I said it, I think that was like back in October. That's when I figured out like the Filecoin inflation. And I made a video regarding Filecoin, right? In my premium at $2. I said accumulate $2 to $3. Which, right there, you can see October 2022, right? That's when I made my last Filecoin macro directional move, okay? Because File was getting ready for a, you know, was getting ready for some volatility. So since then, its supply has pumped, like, let's say, you know, over 80%. All right. And before that, after the bull market peak right here, let's say it peaked around like March, I think, right? It pumped like 400%. So as soon as I saw that 400% pump in 1 year, I was like, in like a year and a half or less, right? Let's say 500% pump, right? Since like from like December 2020 to July 2022, right? 18 months, 500%. I was like, we're not gonna, it is not likely we will basically go back to, you know, $200 or like, you know, $300 and all that good stuff. So now let's move on to the next one. So I think the next one is EOS. So EOS is moving very slow. I know, okay, EOS moves very slow. The only reason why I like it is like it kind of, you know, basically balance the volatility, right? If you're holding it, right? So some of these alt will be potentially pumping and dumping 20-30%, right? But EOS could be staying flat, so it is going to give you that little bit of less volatility, right? So on the 3D, it doesn't look bad, okay? It just it needs basically the Wmacd to flip positive on a 3D basis. And if that's the case, it means like we're going to get a big move, right? Just like Ethereum Classic. And the next resistance for EOS, short term, okay? Medium term going to be around like a 160 if you want to take a look at it on the monthly, right? But if we take out the $1, right, you got the 130 as the next resistance, and after that you got the 160 to all the way up to $2, which is our August 2022 resistance right here. And in terms of trend lines, right, just like ICP, right, we talked about ICP back in December with that parallel trend line, right? We said if we break above the trend line resistance, we're most likely going to be retesting what the monthly 21 EMA, right? You can go back and check those videos, right, for ICP. So it looks pretty good. So speaking of the monthly 21 for EOS, it is right around the 130, right? 120 actually. Right, so 120 to 130, and then after that you could be looking for 160 to 190, give or take, okay? But EOS, I just don't like the monthly MACD. It is too deep, even though it crossed positive, but it is too deep, okay, below the histogram. So it means like it is going to take a very long time potentially for EOS to be getting a macro bull run. So it is a good short-term trade, right? You could find some good short-term trade on EOS, but on a macro basis, right, I'm not very confident, right, if EOS, right, will be breaking like $16, $20, $50 and all that good stuff, because we got so many new coins like Arbitrum, right, Optimism, right? Those coins, right, most likely going to break out above 25 to let's say 25 to $35, right, before EOS can break out above $16, right? So, and all those coins, right, let's say Arbitrum was around like $1, just like EOS, right around here. Now it is above $2, and EOS is still struggling to break above $1, above its monthly 21 EMA. So I think the hype might be flipping, right? Not just the technology at the same time, but sometimes you have to pay attention to the price, right, and the hype. So, because Arbitrum and Optimism most likely going to get a better hype than EOS in this bull run. So, but you can find some nice setup on EOS just because it has a nice, decent volatility, and you don't have to worry about those 25-30% moves. So the next one is Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic took a while, okay, to a breakout. We discussed it in our premium before the breakout and all that good stuff. Ethereum Classic, and Shiba and Dogecoin, similar pattern. We were expecting this move, right? So not yet around the 40s, but we already broke out above the 26. The first resistance was the 23, right? We talk about it right here around like I think $17-16. Was looking for the $23, got hit, came back down to retest it, $18, $17. We discussed it. If we get any shakeouts, just accumulate right here. Anything under 20 is a good buy, because we could be looking for another 100% move back up to the low 40s. So still looking pretty good. If we get any shakeouts, mid 20s, okay, 25 to a 23 going to be a support area, but it is still a good hold all the way up to the mid 40s. And at the same time, we got a bullish 3D right there. So it looks pretty good. I think this move was just a fake out, just like ENS, right? So but the good thing is, like, on Ethereum Classic, we talked about it before even the before market got shaken out, right? So we already talked about this bad boy, Ether. So the next one, Filecoin. So Filecoin looks pretty good also. We've been talking about it like since like October also, right? Around $3-4 area. Target was around like 9 to 11. We already hit 8.1. Came back down to retest $5. So still got a pretty good chance to you know, go all the way up to you know, $11. So it looks pretty good. Still above the 3D, of course, above the weekly 21. Big volume right here in terms of sell-off, right? That's a problem. Too much supply, you know, coming into the market. So you just have to think about it. Okay, it is most of the time the last coin to pump. Filecoin, EOS, ICP, you know, Ethereum Classic. Most of the time they pump last. So if you're holding them, you just have to understand, like, you just have to be patient. Not all the time, you know, but sometimes Ethereum Classic pumps first. Okay, so ICP, we first talked about it right here. I think that was back in May with the inverse head and shoulder, but it ended up printing a parallel channel, and we talked about it right here in my premium. As soon as we got above the 3D 21 EMA, right there we said, okay, BTC broke out above 32K, right? What is the likelihood of alt following through? The likelihood was very high, right? Very high probability. So we were bullish on most of these alt back in late October 2023, not 2022, right? Right here. So we broke out above it. We were looking for the resistance right here, just about like $5-6 area. Got taken out. We said monthly 21 EMA, right? Take a look at it. Right here. We hit the monthly 21 EMA exactly. Okay. So now we're consolidating above the monthly 21. Nice close, but we need another close above the monthly 21. If we don't close above the monthly 21, we got the weekly 21 EMA as support around $7 as of now, depending on when we're gonna get there. So Chainlink, okay, looking very, very jullish. Okay, so on the daily basis, right, it printed a flat right there. So it printed a nice double, you know, double top, double bottom, and attempted to break out to the upside, right, late December, but BTC, you know, decided to mess up everything, and, you know, price action dip all the way down to you know, let's say 12, low to mid $12. Okay, it is the same pattern if you take a look at it on the 3D basis, right, or even on the weekly basis. It is still, you could still look at it as a double top, double bottom, right? Kind of funny on a line graph, but it is, you could still look at it as a double top, double bottom right here. However, if you want to basically be more complicated, you could just say it is a zigzag formation, and we could be going much higher after that. Okay. So, but the main thing to remember is like Chainlink. Okay, we talk about it as soon as we saw the macro accumulation right here. What we said was like, you know, on a quarterly basis, it looks really good. Okay, before even the breakout, we said on a quarterly basis, it looks really, really good. So even though, you know, we're getting, you know, a sideways-ish correction right here between $17 to $12 area, you cannot see it on a quarterly basis. All right, so, and I just don't see Link dumping below $5. Could it dump below $5? Anything is possible in this market. But after, you know, 15, 18 months of macro consolidation, the likelihood after the breakout above your resistance is like you're looking for a continuation. Okay, this was our Wyckoff wyckoff accumulation right here, the breakout. So the only thing to look for next is like a move to the upside above all-time high. Okay, looks really good on the quarterly. Any shakeouts, could be just some more opportunities to reaccumulate. But on a macro basis, I don't see anything negative on Link. It looks really good. So OP, let's take a look at NIA. So NIA started to talk about it right here around like a I think 120, 110 area. As now we took out the 3D21 right there. Okay, so our target was actually somewhere around like a $2.5 to $3, but it over pumped all the way up to nearly $4, $4.50. Okay, so still looking pretty good. So we could get some more consolidation from NIA in this range if we do not take out 4.5, right? 4.9 area. The next short-term resistance around like $6, right? So it looks pretty good, okay? In a short to medium term, just have to stay above the 3D21. The worst case scenario could be like to retest the weekly 21, somewhere around like let's see. As of now, it is at $2. But MACD, it is still positive, so any dips could just be some some more opportunities basically to reaccumulate. So OP, it is looking pretty good. Macro accumulation, just like BNB back in 2020, similar pattern. Okay, so 1-to-1 extension of the accumulation range, going to take you somewhere around like $18 to $25. Okay, so if we get any dips, still got the weekly 21 EMA as support. Everything looks really, really, really good. Okay, it looks really, really good. So SNX, I like it on the higher time frame. It does look good also on the low degree, right? You can see the accumulation phase right here. You can see the double top, double bottom right there. Consolidation right here, breakout to the upside. Pull back down to retest the weekly 21. The next level of resistance around like $8 right there. Okay. I don't think it is the 0.618. Let's see. It is right around like 50%. 0.618 around like $9 to $10. Okay. So, and this guy, I was bullish on it right here. Okay. $2 area. So keep an eye on SNX, right? Kind of moving slow, but a beautiful wedge pattern and a potential move back to a all-time high or all the way up to $27. If markets, let's say we get, for whatever reason, okay, we dump below the weekly 21 EMA, we still got the September, October accumulation zone around like $2, right? Before another bounce, okay? It doesn't look like an inverse head and shoulder, right? But you could call it an inverse head and shoulder right here, if you want to, Leroy, right? Yeah, it looks like one. But it doesn't change anything, right? Regarding the bullishness, whether you want to call it an inverse head and shoulder or not. And target around like $9, $10, similarly, right, to the fib. Right here, 0.618 fib. Right, so looks pretty good. So Solana just hit like 0.786, consolidated. Looks similar to ETH, not ETH, but BTC. Okay, this move right here, right? Seems like that's what we're getting on BTC. So, but just hit 0.786. We discussed it. right after we hit 0.786, what we said was like, you know, Solana, Ether just hit resistance also. So time to take some profits and accumulate Ether. So I just don't have anything to say regarding Solana. It looks pretty good. I mean, just have to hold and be patient. It could go through, you know, some consolidation over the next few months, or it could even blast off and break all-time high. I just don't know. But all I know is like the trend on a macro basis is up. Whether it goes through a consolidation or not, I don't know. Okay, you know, level of supports to keep an eye on going to be your basically your weekly 21. If we break the weekly 21, the next level of support going to be your monthly 21 EMA. Right? If we move sideways, you know, for like a couple of months, right, the weekly 21 EMA could basically join the party, and you could be looking for a continuation to the upside. All right, guys. So I think I'm just gonna cut it off. I think we talked about enough coins. Let's go ahead and take a look at Uni. So Uniswap, just like Link, SNX, right? And I think Link and SNX, right? So beautiful accumulation phase. Just got rejected around the monthly 21 EMA. And Uni, we also talk about it right here at the bottom, $4. Okay, I said, hey guys, Uni and DOT, they're likely, you know, going to keep up with Link. I don't think Link will outperform Uni and DOT by like a 5x. So if you see, you know, let's say you see a chain link pumps like, let's say 200%, right? And DOT and Uni ain't doing nothing, right? And you're holding Link, right? So you might want to, you know, be like, okay, not financial advice, right? But you might want to be taking off some profits and basically, you know, accumulate DOT and Uni, because they're going to pump after that, right? And you can see like after Uni, after basically chain link pump to $14, something like that, you can see these guys, they pump 100%, trying to catch up with, you know, Link. So still looking pretty good. Just hit the 3D 21 on a monthly basis. Just hit the monthly 21 EMA. So we'll see if we're going to be able to close above the monthly 21 EMA before the halving. If not, we still got support around $4. Nothing wrong with that, because we could get a macro triple bottom if we don't continue the uptrend, something like that. Or it could even just retest like 50% right here, similar to Ether. Okay, like that, do something like that and push high towards all-time high. So basically for Uni, the next few months, the best thing to do is just be patient with it. Okay, just be patient with it, regardless of the short-term volatility below the monthly 21. Because once these alt, you know, break their monthly 21 EMA after the halving, man, that could be really bullish. Okay, that could be really, really bullish. And if we go ahead and take a look at a total 2, on a weekly basis, right, we discuss the 700 billion, right, being a resistance. You know, we broke out above it, pumped all the way up to like 800 billion and came back down to retest it. So it is going to be super tough to break out below 700 billion. Okay, and all the moving averages are now crossing positive, meaning like the 21, the 50, and the 100 EMA, they're all crossing positive as of now. And if you want to take a look at it on a monthly basis, let's go ahead and take a look at it right here on a macro layout. So on a monthly basis, we got our 20 SMA, right? Above the, below the 21 EMA. And I discussed it previously in my premium when alt, I think somewhere around here, I said like, just be patient, okay? Once we get the bullish crossover right here, we will know we are in a bull market. And guess what? We got the crossover in October. And guess what? That's when I started really talking about most of these alt on a macro basis, because I was anticipating, you know, a macro pump once BTC breaks out above 32K, finishing off its wave 2 corrections. Okay, wave 2 correction, right? So you can see right here in 2020, got the crossover. Yes, we got a big pump and then a dump later on. However, these two structures, right, they're not the same. They're not the same, even though the moving averages, okay, they're crossing, you know, similarly, right? But in terms of structure, they're not the same. Okay, back in 2019, right, 2018, 2019, alt pumped like 260% total two. Right here, we did not pump 260%. We only pumped like 60%. So just about like, let's say 30% off the pump we had back in 2019. So that's why I'm not expecting, right? Anything is possible. I'm not saying, you know, I'm 100% sure it's not going to happen, right? But all I'm saying is most people have been expecting this move, right, to come in early 2024. And what I was saying right here, don't look for that move, because we already got the 18-month, you know, consolidation. We already had the 18-month consolidation, right? And if you take a look at it right here, the consolidation was only like a 15-month. And right here, the consolidation was like about, let's say, 15-month also, okay? 15-month consolidation, right? Including, you know, this consolidation range, right? Included the bottom right here. The consolidation range included the bottom 6 months ago, okay? Right? You know what I mean, okay? The bottom we had 6 months prior to the, or even more than 6 months, right? 8 months, right? Prior to the breakout, right? So, and at the same time, if you think about it, right, alt always bottom 24 months, right, give or take, before, I mean 24 months, right? Let's say 24 months after the bull market peak. You think about it right here. That's why I was saying accumulate alt in Q4 2023, right? So you take a look at it right here. The bottom was already in 23 months and we started to push. Right here, the bottom in 23 months after the bull market, and we're starting to pump. But most people are going to be like, okay, we're going to get this dump right here. Could we get it? Yes. If we get it, who cares? Okay? If we get this dump like what we had in 2020, I mean, most bears hopefully going to flip bullish after that. But I don't think we will get that move. And another argument also to make is like, hey, back in 2020, even though we dumped right here, right, you can see the MACD on a monthly basis never crossed positive. Never crossed positive, right? And you think about it right here, we already get the positive crossover. And what happened after we get the positive crossover and above the monthly 21, we pump from like, let's say 100 billion all the way up to a 1.8 trillion. So we got a positive crossover on our MACD, and at the same time, we above the monthly 21 EMA. So I think this, you know, market is, you know, is super bullish, okay? Hey, what's up, Hank? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Okay, so someone is asking for Casper. So Casper, I already gave my analysis in the premium, right? So for Casper, you just have to follow the 3D time frame, okay? You know what I was saying right here was like the 3D 21 and the weekly 21 EMA going to be your two main indicators to follow throughout the uptrend. Let's see. I gotta make it brighter for Leroy. So that's the 21 EMA, right? That's a 3D, right? I discussed it. Somebody asked about Casper. I think somewhere around here, right? I think that was like November when Casper was around like a 13 cents, okay, in my premium. And I was like, okay, you don't want to be buying around here. The volume is already picking up at the, and market already pumped a lot. So whenever you see this type of volume after a big pump, you just want to be cautious because market likely to retrace lower, okay, retrace down to some supports. So the main target was like the first target was the 3D 21 EMA. As you can see, we already hit it right here. And the secondary support for Casper is I don't think I need this one, right? So we go ahead and take a look at it on the weekly, right? The weekly 21. Okay, so if we break the 3D 21, as I said, we're going to get a bounce off of the 3D 21, and price action was around like nearly 14 cents. It dropped 30%, hit the 3D 21 EMA, right? 3D 21, and now if we get any dump below it, you just accumulate at the weekly 21 and be patient, right? The next indicator to pay attention to going to be the Wmacd and RSI, actually mainly RSI, right? Mainly RSI, because the RSI, right, likes to retrace down to the let's say around like a 50 on the 3D. It's only for Casper, okay? And that's what I was saying also, if you're waiting for the 3D Wmacd to cross negative, right, price action might dump like, let's say 50%, right? So you don't want to wait for the 3D Wmacd to cross negative, right? As soon as you saw your big volume right here, you don't want to be jumping in. Just wait for price action to dip and your RSI to dip back down to the mid-range. Right there, just like what happened right here. That was my perfect analysis right there. That's what I was expecting. Right. However, if you extend the higher time frame, it could dip lower. It could dip down to the 50 area on a weekly basis, meaning like it could retest the weekly 21. So just be prepared, right, to be accumulating at the weekly 21. Okay, so first accumulation range already hit. If it dips lower, DCA area around the weekly 21. If not, we just stay with the trend, until we hit again the weekly 21. California Rod, thanks a lot for tuning in. Let's see. Alright, so let's take a look at Audi. I mean, Audi is kind of parabolic, right? The only setup I saw on Audi was this move right here, retesting the daily 21. That's the only thing I saw in terms of like a bullishness, right? So it is kind of overextended. So it all depends on your time frame and all that good stuff. It is above the daily 21. At some point it will dump down to the 3-day 21. So either just DCA now or wait until we retest again the 3-day 21. If you miss the accumulation right here around $50, right? So, but it looks really good. I don't see anything negative as of now, even though it will pull back down 30, 40, 50% down the road, so you just have to be prepared for that. But just keep an eye on the 3-day 21, right? Just in case it comes back down to retest it. So it is already 1 hour 25 minutes. So whoa, it is 50-50. Some people are expecting a BTC to hit all-time high by May 2024. So the polls is signed like a 50-50, right? So some people don't expect it, right? So, but we will see. Either way, right? Either way it goes, we should be or could be expecting BTC to break all-time high by October 2024. So guys, make sure to join the public Telegram group, link in the description, and the Discord public group. If you're looking to join Send Crypto Premium for the bull run, got 50% discount, link also in the description, right? So you can check out the 50% discount, the 50% premium discount, for the 2024-2025 bull run. We don't tend to get these big chances, right? The next market bottom will come 24 months from now, right? Not 24 months, but 48 months, right? Because we got the 4-year cycle. So if you miss this bull run, market is still super cheap. We're still under 2 trillion, and we're looking for like a 6 to 7 trillion, right? So massive gains to be made over the next 18 to 24 months, right? By 2025, right? So still good time to be accumulating. Most of these top coins I just described, like a Dogecoin, the meme coins, right? Dogecoin, Shiba, okay? Uni, it is still under accumulation. DOT still under accumulation, right? And many other coins, right? Even Tezos, it is still under right around like $1, right? So in many other alt we already discussed today, right? ADA still 50%, 70% below all-time high, right? Let's go back to the list really quickly. Right, ADA still over 50% below all-time high. We've still looking pretty good, right? Arbitrum still looking pretty good. We got AVAX just breaking out above the monthly 21 EMA. We talk about around like a $8, $10 area, right? Dogecoin slightly above the monthly 21 EMA, so nearly 90% below all-time high. So we still under accumulation, we could say it, right? We could still say it for some of these alt, but the accumulation period can end in 1 day, right? Because some of these guys can pump like 200% in 1 day, and they will never retest those lows again, at least in the short term, right? So all right guys, thanks a lot for watching.